And if I were to draw a line over here, that line is also a length of 1.81. So the 45-degree minor line makes that possible. If it were anything different than 45, even 45.00001 degrees from the horizontal, these angle measurements or these depth measurements would not transfer appropriately. Okay, so now we need to use this grid to construct our missing top view. Okay, so let's go back to our visible layer, and this is not an easy technique. Okay, well, no, I'm sorry. The technique is good. This concept is a little bit difficult when you're first getting used to it. So be aware of that, and we will get through it. So you can tell from the front view that we have an angled surface coming toward us. Okay, and that coincides with this angled line here. Okay, so if I were to go up in this corner, okay, and I want to draw a line to here. Okay, now why did I draw that line? Okay, this line is all the way at the top of the object, and behind this point is that line. Okay, so I'm just simply going along this line. When it hits the minor line, I'm going across. Okay, so now I have this line overlying the construction line. Okay, so from this point, this plane goes forward to this intersection. Okay, why does it do that? Well, this point is at the intersection of this construction line, which comes from here, and this construction line, which comes from this point here. Okay, so again, this angled line coincides with this plane that we're looking at. And then it goes back to the beginning and closes. Okay, now I want to point something out, and this is a very important concept. When you have an angled line like this, one that's not vertical or horizontal, in one of your views, then in the other two views you will have similar shapes. Okay, and the similar shapes I'm talking about in this case is that shape and that shape. Okay, they both have three straight lines basically and an angled line, and it's the same plane. It's the same surface on the object. So the only reason they look different is the angle at which you're viewing that plane. Okay, but you see the same shape because it is the same plane, and it's all because of this angled line. Okay, so I'll point that out again as we go through. Okay, so well, let's go ahead and do it now. We have an angled line here, so I'm expecting we should have similar shapes because of that angled line in the front view and the top view. Okay, so this angled line coincides with this this hatched area right here. Okay, so this is the shape I'm going to be looking for in the top view. Again, it's not going to be the same, but we will see that same shape. Okay, so let's start off at this point, which is this point in the front view. Okay, so it goes from here. Now I can tell that this line goes all the way out to this right side edge. Okay, but where do I snap here? Okay, well, it coincides with this point on the right side view. Okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. If we look at the same elevation, I totally messed up there. It coincides with this point. Okay, so we want to follow this line up. It's the line on the right is the one I'm following, and then it switches to here. It's the line on the top. So it's where this line crosses right here. Okay. So again, I want to go back over that since I said something incorrect. Okay. So at this elevation coincides with this line. Okay, this line meets this construction line, which is the line on the right. Okay, when it goes up and it hits the miter line, it goes across to the left. Now, the construction line that goes vertically from this point crosses the line that was going horizontally at this point. That's why I drew my second point right there. All right. So now where does it go from there? Well, I know it goes somewhere along this line in the top view because it does the same thing here in the front view. But where do I snap on this line? Okay, well, this point is at this elevation in the right side view, so I'll follow this line up to the miter line, and then it goes horizontally until it reaches this intersection point. And then from here it's easy, okay, because we have the point view of this line that lets us know it goes all the way back to here and then back to the beginning. Alright, let me turn off my construction layer real quick. Alright, I'll turn it back on. I just wanted to take a quick peek at something. So that's two of the angled lines here, and now we have another angled line. Okay, so again we're expecting similar shapes. And my visible lines keep getting behind my construction lines, which I don't like. So I just highlighted all of them, and now I want to just all the visible lines. Now I want to change my draw order. I want to bring to front, and that should make it where I can see them. This a little bit, and sometimes you have to click on one line and draw order, send to back. Okay, so now I can see. Try that again. Draw order, send to back. I'm trying to send my construction lines to behind the visible lines so I can see them. Okay, so now we want to work on this inclined line. Now, from the top view, you can tell that this point down here, or this edge, is going to be hidden because it's under this lip. Okay, so we'll probably end up using a hidden line. So let's go ahead and switch now. Okay. So let's start off at this point, and let's find the same point up here. Okay, we know it's along this line, and it's at this elevation, and it goes back, to here. Okay, actually this is where we ended up on the previous view. So we'll just start here. Now from here, let's say that this line goes down to this point. Alright, this point is at this elevation, and it coincides with this point on the right side view. Let's follow the construction line up, and then we'll go to the left, and then it goes to here. Okay, this line is directly above the point we were just working on. And then our line goes across, straight across. So we'll just do that here. And that's all we need to do for that line, because what actually ends up happening is this line comes on top of here and then back to here if I were to complete that. But as you've read, because of the precedence of lines, the visible line would be all that you see. You wouldn't actually see the visible, the hidden line there. So let me just take those hidden lines away. Okay, now we have done the three angled lines here, and we have a pretty good understanding of what our top view is going to look like. Definitely not finished yet though. So let me turn the construction layer back on. Now I have an angled line in this view. Okay, so I'm expecting similar shapes in the other two views. Okay, one view will be here, and it will look similar to this shape. Alright, this shape is the one I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm expecting that same shape here, and you can almost see it. Okay, it's bounded by these two angled lines. But let's formally go through and come up with a solution here. So I'm going to switch back to my visible layer, and I want to start at this point. Okay, now this point is directly above this point. This point is at the same elevation as here. Okay, so now this line goes all the way out to the edge. Okay, which coincides with this point in the top view. Okay, and then it comes back to the beginning. And I know it comes back to the beginning. This line